Hello again, guys. So I have a toilet today that's leaking down to the room below it, and I'm gonna look at it and see what is causing the leak. I'm suspecting it might be the wax ring, but I'm not sure until I take the toilet off. So I'll show you today how to do that. So as normal, obviously you want to shut the water off first. Once you got it shut off, you're gonna go ahead and remove the supply hose. Once you got that removed, over here I have a wet and dry shop vac. Once you use the wet vac, you gotta have to remove the filter. The filter is only for the dry vac. So I went ahead and I vacuumed out all the water that was in the toilet tank and inside the toilet bowl. So there's literally no water left in there. So the next step, obviously you're gonna need gloves. I have this adjustable wrench. I already popped off the screw caps or the bolt caps off, and I'll start by taking this off. So it's just a normal nut. Gonna start by taking that off. Should be pretty easy. Sometimes they're gonna be rusty. It will be hard to remove them, and if that happens, you will just have to either get like a tool to snap it off and then install new ones. So once that's off, I'll take this off as well, put it aside, and then move over to the next one, which is on this side. So as you can see, this one has some rust on it. Hopefully it will be easy to come off. So as you can see, the whole piece is turning free. That's not good, because when you try to get the nut off, the bolt is turning as well. So what you need to do is grab a channel lock and lock it on the bolt here, and then try to get the nut off. So I'll grab a channel lock. So once you have the channel lock, you want to adjust it. There's a screw on the back to where you can adjust it enough to lock on the bolt. So once I have it locked, now I'm gonna try to get to the nut and turn it. Actually move this to the side so you can see it, and then I can start by turning the nut down there. As you can see, it's coming off right now. Even with the channel lock method, if it doesn't work, you can always get some WD-40, put some WD-40 on it, wait 10-20 minutes, and it will help with loosening the rust on the bolt. So now I got that one off as well, and then take this off. I'm suspecting this might not be the correct bolt for the toilet. So once I take the toilet off, I can take a look at it and see if I need to replace that one as well or not. So the next thing you need to do is, you can try to move the toilet. If it doesn't move, that means the caulk is holding it in place. So you will have to start by taking off the caulk all the way around the toilet, which I'm gonna do right now. So there are special tools to remove the caulk. Currently I'm just gonna go ahead and use the blade here. The razor blade actually helps pretty well with cutting the caulk. Just go all the way around. See, it's coming off pretty easy. So once you have most of the caulk removed from around the toilet, before you remove the toilet, if you have a mask, one of this, I think it's like an N95 Verticlate mask, you want to wear it just so the fumes coming out of the toilet, unpleasant fumes, you don't want to inhale it. So once you got your mask on, you just grab the toilet and try to move it, and it is moving right now. So now I'm gonna go ahead and take the toilet off and put it aside and inspect the drain area and see what's going on there. So once I remove the toilet, this is what it looks like. Over here you have the wax ring. This is like a little plastic, a round plastic piece that goes in the middle of the wax ring. And then this is the base, the bottom of the toilet. And the wax ring is supposed to cover the whole area and create a seal on the back of the toilet right around here. And it looks like what happened here, the wax got pushed down too far, and it's old as well. Over time it loses its stickiness, so it's no longer waxy because of water. So I think what's happening here, the water, instead of going straight down, it's leaking from the side and getting around here, and then it's seeping down to the room below it. So I'm gonna go ahead and remove the wax ring, just grab it and pull it off like that. So as you can see, this is pretty old, probably hasn't been replaced for a while. It's recommended to at least once a year or every 2 years to replace it, regardless whether it's leaking or not. That way you prevent any leaks. So the bolts that hold the toilet in place, you can just slide them out like so, and this is what they look like. You can get them from Lowe's, Home Depot. They're pretty cheap, $3-4 for 2 of them. And this one is actually not the correct one. Not sure how it got on here, but it looks like what I need to do is get this whole piece off, because as you can see, this piece right here, it's broken off. This one right here is still intact. So what I'm gonna need to do is get this whole piece removed. It kind of like fits right into the pipe, so it might be a little bit hard to get it off, because as you can see, all the rust over time, it's like fused to the actual pipe. So I'll start by removing that right now. After further looking into this, I realized that this piece right here goes all the way to the bottom, so it's all one piece. So removing this is gonna have to require replacing the entire pipe in there. And what I'm gonna do is just gonna clean this up. I got this scraping knife here, or scraping tool. So I'm just gonna go ahead and start cleaning it all up. And to prevent further leaks, I will seal all the way around here as well with waterproof caulk all the way across, and then I'll put the wax ring on top of it, and hopefully that will stop the leak. And the reason why you see this where all the rust is, all the toilets gonna look like this if the drain pipe is cast iron. This hotel was built in 1985, so a lot of piping you're gonna see is cast iron. If this was PVC, it would have been way easier to replace, or you wouldn't see any rust like you see here. So like I said, I'm gonna clean all this up, vacuum it, put some caulk down here, and then put a new wax ring. And then before I bolt the toilet down, I'll flush it multiple times and go to the room below and see if there's any leak. So on the room below, what I did on the ceiling, I have an access panel right below this drain pipe, and I can open that access panel, and then with the flashlight I can see if there's any leak or dripping. Once I flush it multiple times and there's no leak, then that means it's good to go. So like I said, I'll start by cleaning this, put caulk down here, get a new bolt for this side, and then a new wax ring. So once I cleaned most of the dirt and excess wax from around the pipe here, I'm just gonna go ahead and clean it as much as possible. And to get the old caulk off, if you have a razor, you can just use the razor. So I'm gonna take this one out. So just grab it and kind of like scrape it off. Should come off easy. Just getting all the caulk off. Get a wet rag and start wiping it down, get all that rust off. So here's the wet rag. I'm just gonna go ahead and wipe it all off. What you see here, all this is gonna get covered under the toilet anyways, but I just like to clean it still. So when I apply the new caulk, I want to make sure it will stick to it better. So once you got all that cleaned up, you want to get some waterproof caulk. I'm just using clear caulk, so I don't think it matters what color you use. Just go ahead and apply caulk all the way around. Just so that if there's a leak in the future, instead of damaging the ceiling in the room below, the water will either get trapped under the toilet base, or it will eventually make it its way to the drain. Just put a good amount. seal, press it down. So this caulk dries in about 30 minutes. Obviously I'm gonna fill up this holes up here too, so the water doesn't seep down through. But I'll do that after I put or install the bolt here. So now that I have this new bolt installed, make sure it's centered, lines up together, and centered right in the center. Just put more caulk down here. Fill it up. So once that's all done, I'm gonna give it 10-15 minutes for the caulk to harden. That way when I put the wax ring on it, it doesn't stick. So I'll come back in about 15 minutes and install the wax ring. Okay, so about 15-20 minutes later, I'm gonna go ahead and install the new wax ring. So you just wanna go ahead and line it up exactly with the pipe down here. Make sure it lines up straight and kind of like press it down to create a seal down there against the pipe. So once I have that wax ring, now what I'm gonna do is grab the toilet and line up this right here with the wax ring and line it up perfectly is the bolts. So you got the bolts lined up in the middle, so when you put the toilet down, you're gonna make sure that the bolts stick out through these two holes without having the bolt move left or right, so it will just sit right straight on top of the wax ring. And also one more thing to do is clean the old caulk from the toilet base. That way when you lay down the toilet, it sits flush on the ground or on the tile. So as you can see, after I put the toilet base down, the bolts lined up perfectly with the holes with the toilet, just like so. I'm gonna grab a magic eraser and clean all this up. So right now, the toilet is sitting straight and flush with the tile down here. So the next thing I'm gonna do actually is temporarily install the bolts and tie it up so it can push the toilet down against the wax more, so it can create a better seal before I flush the toilet to test it. So after I have the bolts installed on both sides, the next thing I'm gonna do is reattach the water line. It should be just a hand tie here. Just gotta line it up straight. So I have it tight, just hand tie it. Now I'll open the water. And a lot of the time workstation light, and then I'll flush it and then look for the leaks, make sure it's not leaking anywhere from under the toilet. And if it does leak, then that means the wax ring didn't seal up well. So you just want to look for water anywhere, see if there's water coming out from under the toilet in all directions. If not, then you're all good to go. So after flushing multiple times, I went downstairs and looked. Luckily there was no leak anywhere. So I'm just gonna leave the toilet like this for about 2 more days before I caulk it down to see if there is going to be possibly a leak. And that's the end of the video.